Hello, Organitics. Welcome to Organic As Fuck Talk. I'm Pretty B.
I am the Love Bug. Welcome.
Welcome. Today's episode is self-love. And we're going to jump into vibe of the day. I'll go first.
What? I can't believe it.
Yes, for once. It's me. So my first vibe of the day is going to be my shirt, which I got from Change. We'll drop it in the comments below. And on the back of my shirt, which you guys cannot really see, but on the back of my shirt, it's an affirmation saying, when the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. And that's why I wore this shirt. We're talking about self-love today. And it just gave me a vibe. I've only wore this shirt like once. So this is my second time wearing it. And then my other vibe of the day.
Have you ever had someone who loved you?
So yes, that was my other vibe of the day. I love that. I knew that about that song, and I love that she reiterated that the other day. And then, Keyshia Cole, she's from the town, from the Bay. But I love that song because she's saying a lot of people thought that it was meant for a significant other, a person, and she was writing from her heart a message to God, thanking for loving me unconditionally and standing by me, and no matter what people say. And I think that is a way to start self-love. A good way, loving on yourself and understanding that you already have unconditional love. So that was one of my vibes of the day. And then the other vibe of the day is going to be my Seamoss pineapple banana smoothie. I'm in continuous fasting daily. And so this is one of my favorite drinks to come off of. And of course, it's in Drinks with BK. But those are my vibes.
Yes, lovely. I love it. Love it all. And I forgot the power of that song. I haven't listened to it in a while, and I forgot the power of that song. It actually encouraged a meditation, which is why my get up is like this, right? Because I have been in meditation since about 6 a.m. So that is actually one of my vibes of the day. It's going to be meditation. Meditation has been very, very beneficial to me for each pivot and turn throughout this life. And I have various forms of meditation, okay? So a lot of people hear meditation and they think you just kind of sitting somewhere like, with the lotus pose, and that is not it. Is various forms of meditation. And I encourage you to get into a method that you are already practicing. A lot of us don't know, and we do it sometimes when we're driving, when you're washing dishes, those automatic things where your mind just kind of relaxes and allows messages to come through. Any way that you can clear your mind is a form of meditation. But yes, I will be in meditation throughout the day today because I am honoring the Sabbath. So that is my first vibe. My second vibe, you hear me clanking, making noise, are tuning forks. Okay, this is my tuning fork set. And I don't know, I've never tried to see if it will actually pick up on the audio, but I will hit one. I'm gonna choose to use the 512, right? And let's see if it picks up. Let me just strike it. I'm not sure where my speakers are. And my AC just happens to be making noise at the same time. But these are tuning forks, and they make the same noise as singing bowls. So a lot of you are probably familiar with singing bowls already, the Tahitian bowl, am I pronouncing that right? Singing bowls, so these are tuning forks. And I was reminded recently of how I haven't been using these in my meditation. But I was dying to have tuning forks and purchase them, and I found the most cost-effective one that I could afford. I got a set of 7 to align and resonate with my chakras because music is healing frequencies are healing, and you can actually align your body and become balanced, you know, because I think the subject of self-love, you have to be operating within the frequency of love and things within yourself. There's different things that you can feed yourself, right? So with meditation, I am feeding myself a frequency, and this is the 512 megahertz. And I wish you guys could hear it, but there's a lot of
it's not coming through.
A lot of videos on it's probably not. I have no idea where the speaker is.
Oh wait, there it is. When you put it close, that must have been near your speaker.
I don't know where my speaker is.
Whatever, how you held it up, I just heard something when you did it. Do it again. Yes.
Hear that?
It's going in and out, but you can get bits and pieces of it.
But there are videos on YouTube that you can play that definitely has different frequencies, and you can pick one that specifically deals with the heart chakra, which is where love comes out of. But I wholeheartedly believe that all of the chakras govern love in some sort of way. So that is one of my other vibes. That's one of my vibes. And my third vibe is going to be Palo Santo. Okay, so Palo Santo is Spanish for Hollywood. And this wood is used for a variety of things, specifically colds, headaches, inflammation. There's lots of videos on YouTube where you can find people. There's like there were some ducks in Ecuador, and actually on Leo Movement's page, there were some ducks in Ecuador, and they were using the smoke from the Palo Santo to heal them of the cold. They had respiratory diseases. This is really good for a lot of respiratory things and like I said, body ailments. It is also good for anxiety and depression and things like that. And those are a few things that I feel can disturb your alignment with self-love, right? Because if you're experiencing anxiety, your thoughts can be off, your body can be off. If you're experiencing depression, your thoughts are definitely off and things like that. And this is a natural form of medication that is coming from the earth. It is not called Palo Santo or Hollywood for no reason. And it is a part of my vibe of the day, right? So I'm just gonna burn it lightly so that I can inhale that and help to further increase my meditation and bring me into relaxation. And I actually love this a lot better than I do sage. I'm not gonna lie, it's very common. And
it's one of my faves too. If I'm picking out of the two, it's my favorite to burn more than sage, actually. Yeah, it has a really good light, smooth,
very light smell. You can get it in incense form, you can get it in essential oil form, and sometimes I just don't even light it because just it by itself, it is giving off aromatherapy benefits, and it is so calming. So if you have high anxiety, going through a wave of depression or whatever else it is, I highly recommend just giving you some natural medication. As opposed to the other ways that we can meditate. So that is my whole vibe today. And I encourage you to try some of those between the tuning forks and meditation, and definitely something natural. And you can try it in the form of essential oil or whatever you should choose to place it on your body to help you come into a more relaxed state. Those are my vibes.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. I don't have tuning forks, but I do for you telling the people that don't have tuning forks. You can also, there's plenty of chakra healing music on, I have Tidal, and I have plenty of albums, different ones, different for every organ, and just affirmations and things like that I play. I literally have playlists and albums sitting there. So it's on Apple Music. You can get it off YouTube. You can Tidal. It's pretty much everywhere where you can download and stream music and stuff. So that's pretty cool. And Palo Santo is my favorite. I don't have any right now, but it's my fave. It's my fave, especially after you light it too, because it automatically gives off aromatherapy. But after you light it that first time, and it'll really give an aromatherapy to your room.
right? On top of the benefit of killing germs and things like that. And I think just in
Mhm.
living in the days of COVID-19, it is also very beneficial to have around just to keep those respiratory elements at bay and kill the germs off and calm the anxiety of being
And depression, yeah. Because
so
this is a big time for that. So it really does help. Like, it really does. I use it, you guys, too. And I've used it for all of those things. So, yeah.
right. Yeah. So self-love.
Self
Self.
love. I am excited to talk about this, but I'm in a very love vibration calm mode today.
Yeah.
And I actually went into like some self love yesterday, just loving on myself. And that's a constant thing I do. But I actually was posting yesterday. So, and really just loving yourself in so many different ways. It's always good, definitely from inside to out, because it shows. And
Mhm.
so it's something you need to learn to do before you can commit to loving someone else. Because if you don't love yourself, you're going to seek for that outside of yourself. So it's definitely something you want to commit to doing, healing, and doing for yourself first.
Yeah. Yeah, and to seek for it outside of yourself is it's the wrong type of selfish. It's very selfish. That's something that I was reflecting on,
Yeah.
right? Because I became a better lover, and I continue to become a better lover in every single relationship that I hold. The more that I fell in love with self, you know, and it's important. I think we really can't truly learn to love others without self-love. Like the deeper you are willing to love yourself, the more that you will find that you actually love people. And
Yes.
in their times of selfishness, in their times of people tend to violate boundaries and things like that. The deeper self-love you have, which really brings understanding, will allow you to love people through those things. But I'll say with boundaries, though, with boundaries in a way,
With boundaries.
it will
And
allow.
you learn your boundaries when you're loving on yourself. You learn your boundaries. And self love comes with a multitude of things. It's not just, oh, I love me, I love me. Self love is healing yourself. Self love is setting boundaries. Self love is educating yourself. Self love is spending time. It's all of those things are self love. That's what self love is. And I agree, it makes you a better lover, a better understand. You know, you understand. You have a better heart, a better a better heart, a better heart emotionally, and I think physically. It physically makes you better too.
It,
So
it
yeah,
does.
it's very important.
Yeah, I think that my healing journey has really been about self-love. For me, the definition of self-love is self-observation, right? This is when you are actually putting those eyes that we tend to freely give to everyone else on self. Okay, so self-observation, like you got to be able to see where you're not loving yourself, the areas where you are and you can increase love. You have to be able to listen to self, right? How are you talking to yourself? What are your thoughts like, right? Because we can a lot of this all starts with your mentality of self, right? How are you thinking about yourself? How are you speaking to yourself? Are you always downing yourself and criticizing yourself? Do you not applaud and celebrate yourself when you do something right? Is everything negative within your thoughts and your mind? And I think that that's when, if you're sitting in that seat, then that tells you that there needs to be some work done, and when you start to speak to yourself more lovingly, meaning just self encouragement, just self in an area where you would have been like, I'm not gonna never get this done, or uh, I'm so greedy, or uh, some other thoughts that just don't align with love, you're not really, you have to start there is what I'm saying. I got sidetracked, yeah.
No. I was going to piggyback on that. No, it's not a sidetrack. It's actually a good thing. I had to jump up for this one. It's a good thing because I associate, because I get a lot of questions on how did you lose that weight? How did you do this? How did you reverse your pre-diabetes? How did you stop taking medication for high blood pressure? How did you do these different things? How do you, actually got a recent question. How do you operate in good energy? And my answer, or how do you keep good energy around you? And so my answer to that person was telling them I had to do things differently. It started with my mind first. And that's self-love. Like, it started with my mind. Yeah. Back then, I think I posted a picture of me in 2011 versus me in 2020. And I was probably I'm gonna say 160, 170 at the highest, 173 at the highest in that picture. And 250. 270 is right now. I'm about, and then the picture versus it was like I was about probably in between 175, 160 something. And I tell people this all the time when they're asking me, if it's your mind, like you're sitting there saying, I'm fat, I need to lose weight. Or if you're somebody that needs to gain weight, I'm too skinny, I need to gain weight. Like, if you constantly do that, the universe is going to give you what you're asking for. And that's not showing love to yourself, calling yourself names. You can't even be your highest self. You can't get to what you're looking for. You can't even get to true joy, because material things and changing the way you look on the outside does not mean self-love. I can go buy, people nowadays, you can go buy a new face. That don't mean that might make you happy momentarily because you look different. It doesn't make you love yourself. If you're someone trying to lose weight and you just lose it drastically without actually doing the work, or gain weight and you don't do the work on yourself and changing your mind, momentarily you're gonna, okay, I look good, but you don't have true joy.
Right.
And self-love comes with true joy.
Yes, it does. It gives you peace. And to what you just said, right? Growing up, I'm sure that there were many examples, right? But the examples that were louder growing up for me was attributing self-love to caretaking, right? So I got my nails done, I got my toes done, I went to go shopping or whatever it is. Like, there was like, take care of yourself, girl. Give yourself some self-love. That is what was talked about most, were external things, right? I think that your external things, the things that you start to do externally, become better and more meaningful once you've done some internal work. So like you said, the inside can come out. So it becomes more meaningful to you and more of a different practice. Like if I'm sitting down to take a salt bath or a bubble bath, as opposed, they say self-care, go soak yourself, go take care of yourself, go out and treat yourself. Well, now my bubble bath and my soak is more intentful because I have something that's coming from the inside. You know what I mean? It's spirit guided. I'm like, let me put these salts in here, this herb in here. This is how I'm gonna wash my body. This is what I'm gonna listen to while in this state of taking care of self. So when it starts to come within, and then one of the hugest parts for me to really attach to what my self-love was for me was dropping external influences, meaning what it's supposed to look like to everyone else, or what other people may be looking for in you and things like that. I had to drop the external influences. And I'm not saying that because they were bad or anything else. It was just so that I could hear myself louder than anything else, that I could hear source energy louder than anything else to help guide me on this journey of agape love, right? Of true love. Like I think
Love.
around 2015 or 2016, I started to redefine love. I was like, I don't think that I really understand love. I
Hmm.
think that I have a mystical fairy tale type of energy or understanding on love, and a very limiting, very limited
Yeah, it's
definition.
very limited when it's very limited when you don't know to go and self into the guided. Like you said, when I go into a shower, I'm mentally preparing myself and my intentions of when I'm showering, when I take a bath, when I'm doing my own manicure or pedicure, or even if I decide to go get them done by someone else. It's more enjoyable because I know what I'm thinking. I know the conversations I want to have with self. I know what that time is for, whether I'm getting them done when I'm coming to Oakland or whether I'm going and sitting in a pedicure chair, whether I'm at home doing my self-care Saturdays or Sundays with myself. And then it becomes a daily thing. You might not do your full, like, self-love becomes a part of your daily practice when you go to take that shower, when you go to take that bath, when you go to brush your teeth, from the moment you wake up in the morning to, for me, my meditation, my prayer, my affirmations, what I'm looking at around me, that is all forms of self-love for me. That my love language, learning my true love language, when I understood self-love and still growing in self-love, and it just makes you a better lover, period, towards people, towards human. And self-love is not, like you said, fairy tale and mystical, which we think it is, and we think these exterior things. Like, you have to love yourself where you are. Like right now, this portion of me is not a goal I plan to just sit on right here. But guess what? Brianna loved her pretty me. Brianna loves me right now where I am. And I love me enough to want more for myself, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially. But where I am at, I am completely happy with who I am and what I am. And of course, I want more. I love me right now. You people, that's one thing that I had to learn is you can't change overnight unless you can change your physical attribute overnight if you're paying to do that, but you're not going to change inside overnight. You have to grow. You have to love you where you are. And that's the easy, man, that's the hardest but easiest part people don't understand. Like on my journey, I told them it was like the hardest thing to do, because you don't think, let me do that first. Let me love me where I am. You want more for yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you got to be in gratitude of where you are and where you are now, even if it's at a very low point. Thank you for, where I'm at right now in this struggle, because at least I have enough sense to see where I'm at right now and what I want for myself and how I want to better myself right now. And that was like the easiest, hardest thing to do, because you don't think of that. And once I started thinking like, I love me where I'm at right now, I look beautiful inside out. You see yourself differently. So if you see yourself differently, then you start to see the world differently when you operate out of true self love and appreciating yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's self-acceptance. That's self-acceptance, like you said, and knowing that there are some things that you may want to do differently and doing better, but you wholeheartedly accept yourself and love yourself where you are, right? Because a lot of people tend to think that um, all of the things that they want to be and become, they start to look at themselves at the present moment as if it is not enough. Like I'm
Yeah.
not enough. And that's a low frequency. And that is a deficiency. Like you feel like it's a deficiency in self, and it lowers your vibration internally. Like you do have to love and accept yourself where you are. That's a huge part of it. And
It's
oh,
a huge
great point. Yeah.
And it's hard. It's hard because I know, because sometimes I'm going, girl, we need to get here. But I also go, but you look pretty goddamn good inside and out, whether I'm looking at my spiritual, whether I'm looking at a physical portion of my body. I always see where I want to be and where I want to go. And, but I always love on me where I am right now. But look how far you've came. And I know that's hard for people because when you're looking at something that's a flaw on you, you're going, I don't like that. But even if you don't like it, learn, just keep telling yourself, I love you right now. I know we're gonna get better. I love you right now. The more you say it, even if you don't feel that way at first, you're going to love yourself and you're gonna watch how you become different in your own eyes. And the thing is your mind. So if you're trying to get to a certain space and you're not there yet, if you keep telling yourself that, just like we said it, I said it in the live, like, if I'm not a millionaire, but if I keep saying it and I make myself believe it, I'm going to start doing things that get me to that and have that drive because now I'm believing it. So you have to tell yourself and believe, and you're going to start physically seeing that difference too.
Yeah, you will. And that was a huge part of my journey too, because what I did was a lot of mirror gazing, right? Just really just wholeheartedly accepting myself in.
I'm over here with thumbs up, y'all, while she's saying that, because that was a huge part of me. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, looking myself into the eyes, putting your eyes on yourself, like I said in the beginning, you gotta put your eyes on self. And literally, I was looking at myself in the mirror. I would record myself. I would set up my laptop or phone or whatever and set it somewhere while I was in the kitchen cooking, and I would forget. And sometimes I would go back and watch that video and watch how I was moving, how I was behaving in that manner, and I was able to see different things, different aspects about self, right? And I could either critique or love, or both, right? Because sometimes tough love can come across as criticism. It's where you have to find the right understanding and the right way to talk to yourself. But that it's self observation, really putting my eyes on self is something that helped me greatly. It is the first form of meditation that I did consistently, which was sitting in front of my mirror. I had a lot of dry erase affirmations written all over my mirror, things that helped me at the moment so I can constantly repeat those affirmations to self. And I would sit in the mirror with self and just stare for some time. You know, a lot of people are worried about how they can't seem to make eye contact with other people when they're talking and having a conversation. But you have to be able to have eye contact with self. You have to really be able to look at yourself internally and physically. So another definition of self-love would be inner standing, because that's what we're talking about right now. We're talking about
Yes,
it inner standing. Self-love is a very spiritual experience.
it is. I don't care how you look at it. You can get all the nails you want, the eyelashes, the hair done, whipped and dipped, dreads locked up, however you want to do it. It's if you don't go within, you are not experiencing self-love in no form. You are experiencing
Yeah.
external a false sense of love. If it's only tied to something financial, a beauty attribute, you only can love yourself.
Yes.
If you got on makeup, or you only love yourself if this is a certain way. And that's not to say loving on yourself, because some people, yes, we know on Instagram you want to look all nice and pretty. That's fine. That's not saying that. But do you love yourself behind closed doors by yourself? Like, how do you love on you? Or do you only love yourself and think highly of yourself when you all done up and with the latest clothes and the Gucci belt or whatever it is that you have? But you got to learn to love yourself naked, wholeheartedly. And that's was a big part of my journey, Sean. You know this, of course. And y'all, while she was talking the whole time, I'm over here like, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Because I practiced a lot of those things. And one of them was standing in the mirror naked which is hard for a lot of people. If you find yourself in a lot of flaws with yourself, before getting in the shower, telling myself, I'm beautiful, I love you, learning to love, stare at myself in the mirror with and without clothes, loving me heartedly, organically, authentically, with nothing makeup, nothing. If hair was wild, it was wild, whatever it was, but with nothing on, and loving every inch of me. And that's what we have to learn to do. And that's not to say you don't have things, you can't say you don't have things you want to fix on yourself. We all do, but loving you right then and there.
Right. No, it is. One of the other practices, it's interesting because we know I've cleaned up my Instagram, right? But I left some key components because I knew that these were pivotal moments in my journey. And I can go back to reflect on them and know what they were, whether if anyone else really gets what it was that I was posting in that moment. And like I said, redefining love was one of those, was a huge moment. So one of the other things was I posted the definition of listen, right? Because definitions became extremely important, right? As I was talking to myself, the words that I was using, but I became very selective of what I was listening to. I mean, this definitely raised my self-love vibration from and through a period of time, I'll say, because some of the old music I did get to listen to again, but with a different mindset. But what I did was I started to control what I was intaking from my television, because I started to really understand frequency, and the frequency that's coming from the TV and the frequency that's coming from the radio. So I turned the radio off. I turned the TV off. And a lot of my early days in redefining love and edifying my mind came from actually just listening to a lot of biblical words and listening to a lot of motivational speeches and things that contained a lot of positive energy. And then who I talked to on the phone. I didn't give everyone access to me. I realized that I had a lot of codependent relationships where I'm a good ear. So a lot of people would need me to listen. Well, I had to go through a period of really just cleansing and amplifying my energy to where I had to cut that off, right? And really tune into self, so that everything that I was listening to was coming in at a high frequency so that I could self-tune myself. So those self-elogio frequencies, those healing tones that's on YouTube, those motivational compilations, I was listening to that. I was pressing play literally on the Bible and the Apocrypha and all of that. I was cautious of how long my conversations lasted on the phone and what was my cutoff time and time to check in the self, as well as how I was already internally speaking to myself. But the next level was after I graduated from internally speaking to myself, right, within my thoughts, was what I was allowing to hit me from the television and from the radio and from whoever was calling me on the phone or whoever I sat in conversation with. I become very selective so that I can charge and edify myself to renew again, right? Because a lot of people will try to hold you to the same, I'm just going to say frequency, but you guys, whoever really truly understands frequency is a real thing, right? It's like I said, your TV, your radio, all of that stuff is emitting frequencies, just as we are as people. We have an aura that is coming off of our body. We have a heart, an energy. You can feel when somebody steps in a room and their spirit just ain't in a good space. The space, it's just not right. You can feel it. And a lot of people, have an even stronger energy that they're not aware of, where they can shift the environment of the room. They can shift everybody's energy in that room, coming in with a foul mood. So I became selective of the company that I kept until I could get my aura and my energy to sustain long enough to really heal self. Because a lot of people will start to rise to a higher frequency, right, of love with self and want to give it all away. I did that too. I would feel good. I would want to pass the message along, do everything that I could to pass the message along. And it is not intended, or at least for me in my journey, I learned that that is not the first thing that you should do. You literally have to internalize this energy and this understanding and apply it to self and allow it to become a lifestyle before you start to teach and give and share. And so I became selective. That was a huge part of my self-love, very selective with my relationships and everything that I was listening to and taking in. And I will tell you that that is something that greatly changed, because by the time that I came back around to wanting to listen to different music and things again, some stuff I just had to turn off. Some stuff I had to say, hey, the frequency in that. After I really started to hear that 512 megahertz and everything else, and it was vibrating my organs properly, and then here comes this low frequency on the radio, and it's about and then it's so catchy that you memorize it and you starting to chant it, and I was aware of how music was dropping my frequency literally. So I really became selective. And like I said, once I started to introduce it again, some stuff I would just cut off, just like some conversations I just ended. I got off the phone. It wasn't for me. And didn't make myself feel guilty about it, because you have to take care of self properly, like we already said, before you could properly love and take care of someone else. So sometimes you have to be, to me, that is the good form of being selfish, right? Allow me to step over here and heal, and then allow me to reintroduce myself, right? And some people can't hang around for the reintroduction, and that's cool because they've already said who they are in your life, and you just, in the part, a lot of people don't understand when you step into self-love practices or into self-love mode. Sometimes it requires a quietness because you need to heal that deeply.
No, I agree because I went through a period of not listening to music, not watching TV, anything I had to, because for one, it was just like, I think like you said, when you go on that spiritual journey for that, I know you said for you and I said for me, but I think I've talked to a couple of people on that journey that had to do the same thing, like go into like a real quietness, go into a real solitude, going to I can't hear that, I can't, until you understand. And when reintroducing some stuff I cannot. It's like, oh no, it's like nails to chalkboard to my ears. I cannot hear it. And some stuff I can listen to, and when I'm listening to it and whatever it's saying, I can know not to take certain things in or take the beat in that I like for it, and turn that into a higher frequency, and not take in so much of sometimes what they're saying. And then some stuff is just a hell to the no for me. I can't do you on TV. I can't do you in music. And I went through that same period where all I was coming through was listening to affirmations, certain frequencies of music, listening to my Bible, reading my Bible, hearing and replay in my ear and things like that. I don't know if that's for everybody, but I sure did go through that. And it really does create a discipline, which self-love, you have to have discipline and boundaries too, not only for other people, but for your own self as well. Because you have to know when you might be in a regular routine, and when spirit says stop, drop that, you can't do that right now. And I need you to do that either for ongoing or for this period of time. You need to be able to hear that and know when you shouldn't be doing something. And it helps you learn energy too, and how to contain, how to and also learn about yourself, because you might be that person that can light up a room and darken it all in once. And your energy might be that strong. So if you understand that about yourself, you're gonna know, like, you know what, my energy not right. I'm not gonna go and step in this room and affect all these other people like that. Let me recharge. Let me get my energy together, because I know I'm about to go somewhere, and I know what I bring, and I know who I am. Don't dumb down yourselves either. don't, some of y'all dumb down yourself and be like, well, I ain't nobody, I'm not this, and you don't know your spirit might be big as, carry a very big, vibrant frequency, and you might be a person that is always in mess and messy, and you could turn that around, and because if your frequency is that big, to even in a low vibration, to push all that out to something so big, imagine what you can do operating in self-love. You can easily flip that. Don't dumb down yourselves. Don't put yourself in a box. I hear a lot of people do this. Well, this is all I know, and this is all I've ever learned, and this is, well, what else can you learn if you operate in such a low frequency like that, and you still have an effect on people like this? Imagine what you could do if you're doing something for good, if you educating yourself, if you're taking that journey of self-love. Don't be afraid. And then some people won't understand your solitude, and some people won't understand your reintroduction, and that's not your problem, that's theirs. And all you can do is that's still a form of love, being you, being your authentic true self, not what external, not what the world made you think, not what society made you think is good or cute or thick or whatever. However, I'm just throwing out these different things, but you have to create that time so you can understand and have boundary and discipline, and that is self-love.
Be aware of the energy that you bring to the room. One way of being cautious about that is, it's a lot. It's so many stages to that, because you got to know what the room feel like when you walk in. Can you test the temperature of the room, and then, like you said, I think a period of solitude and different things like that. The purpose of it is to amplify and learn your energy, right? And then the other side of that is you're learning to transmute energy, so that when that song comes on, or that vibration, or that person comes in that can change your mood or how you feel, you're able to take that energy and turn it into an energy that works for you. And this is real
it's
life.
real life. It's real things that we practice. Like what we talk about are things that we're not telling you, things we don't do or haven't been through, or don't do ourselves.
That you don't do yourselves. For some reason, this is coming to me, but there's this story in the Bible where there's a woman with the issue of blood, and she's like, if I could just touch his clothing, if I could just touch his hem and things like that. And of course, he's going through town or whatever, and she goes to grab him, and she's immediately healed, right? And he says, who touched me, right? Because he felt the energy leave from him to go to her, the person that touched him. He said, who touched me? Like, that's an awareness, okay? Like, do you just imagine what it's like, Yahushua, Jesus, the Savior, whatever name you're gonna put on it, but that type of energy to pass through, to walk through an environment. Somebody who has mastered, somebody who's spent 40 days and 40 nights of solitude in the desert, just meditating with the sun and whatever else. Imagine what type of energy that is coming through, right? And we too carry the same abilities and the same energy. So whatever you spend your time doing, reflecting and things like that, you have an energy that you are walking with and that is passing through. And self-love is basically starting to dig into techniques and thought processes and pick up tools that amplifies your spirit.
That is beautiful, and that's very true. And it's true. You have that ability to, if you sit down and every practice, not every spiritual practice, but just about everyone that's kind of on this journey, and really deep in person, you'll constantly hear repetitive, go within, go within, go within, go within. Your true self-love is within. I don't care how anybody view you on these worldly things are nothing compared to what you can find within your true self. It does, y'all gonna make me tear up. It does not compare. I don't care if somebody put $1 million on the table, yes, it's gonna make you happy. But if you don't have the true within, the self-love, you're gonna be chasing that money for the rest of your life, because you are never going to know how to multiply it. You're never going to be able to amplify it. If you can't amplify within yourself who you are, if you can't amplify your own self to be in a higher self, how do you think you're gonna be wealthy? Truly wealthy? Because if you're not rich within, if you have not worked on yourself, I don't care how much materialistic beauty changes you make on the outside, you're never ever going to be satisfied, fulfilled, or happy, because your spirit is not operating in its highest potential. It is not being fulfilled. You are not growing. You look like it. You look like it on the outside, but you're not in it on the inside. That's ass backwards. Excuse my language. That's backwards. And we talk like that to go look for all these things on the outside of ourselves. Look for a wife, look for a husband, look for this, look for a better job, look for this. What about who you are? What about self-love and who you are? Who you truly who you are, and you're going to change throughout the day. Guess what? Who I was last week, I ain't this week, and I'm proud of it. Because I grew. Because I grow. I continuously grow. I continuously look within. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I don't make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to sometimes revert to your old ways. But guess what? When you're working on self, you knew when you reverted to that old way. Guess what? Now you know how to reflect and look and elevate and operate higher and amplify and transmute energy. That's self-love. I don't care what you have around you. If you don't got it within you, you have nothing. You're not even close to scratching the surface of really knowing what true wealth is. You can't even create generational wealth. You can't even create a legacy, true legacy, if you don't operate and go within yourself and learn to love yourself. And heal yourself, because healing is a self-love. It's a form of self-love.
And I think for me, what I feel like it was kind of like I jogged the phases of this, right? So we switched up our thoughts, we switched up what type of frequencies we were taking in, you know what I mean? And now the words coming out of my mouth.
Yes.
How I'm speaking to others, what I'm saying to others, and what I'm saying to myself. I was on a panel the other night, and it's like, this is where you get into thou shalt not curse. It has nothing to do with these English words like shit, fucking, damn, right?
Exactly. Go ahead, honey. Break that down.
The ability to curse other people and yourself. And that speaks to your level of self-love. What am I saying to you? How am I speaking to the other people around me in my life? Like, first off, I didn't have to learn how to speak to myself, right? So now, how am I speaking to everyone around me? If your words do not bring life, you need to shut up. And you need to get into this internal conversation and this internal thing, because that is a form of self-love, how we are talking to each other and what we are pushing upon one another. And I think that that's a huge a part of the transition. And I'm grateful that because my meditation actually brought that to me, because I was like, self-love, has so many different facets and so many different forms that it can take on, and so many different levels that, you know what I mean? It's levels to this shift. It's real levels to it. And I sat with it, and I was able to kind of mark the different modes for me. And I'm so excited about what's to come, right? Because as you continue to transform your life and you continue to actually live that lifestyle, you learn more, and more opens up to you. You know what I mean?
Beautiful. It's beautiful because you learn true joy and happiness in the midst of the storm, or whatever it is you're going through, where you're at.
Yeah. It's whatever it is that you're going through. You know what? I'm gonna sit with that. I'm telling you that song. I forgot how hard that
And
song.
that was one of my favorite songs off her out off that album too. So that's why I was like, wait a minute, because it was just it's beautiful. And like you said, speaking over other people, how you speak about someone else, how you speak about other people says a lot about yourself and the way you love yourself. And that is true. Cursing has nothing to do with these English words. Cursing has to do with how you speak and curse and spelling over someone else's life, including your own. So certain things that come out your mouth, you are why do you think it's called spelled and spelling? You are creating curses and spells over yourself and other people. And especially I see people do it, and this is the most heartbreaking thing to me, because some people you know you don't know, and you learning. And when I learned this, it was like I would be in public or in different places and hear other people talk and be like, oh my goodness. When I would hear people talk over their children, you stupid, you an idiot, you little, get your, you little stupid mutt. You know, I was just like, oh my goodness. Are you calling your child an idiot? Are you calling, you know, you think of it, some parents, and I'm not saying you a bad parent, because some people done did it and they're frustrated, and that's the word that comes to your mouth. But you are truly, every time you do that, especially, let alone to yourself and to other people, but children, the most innocent, purest forms of things, and they learning these words from you, and you are putting things over their life that they don't even have control of yet, and you are saying these things over these children's lives.
Yeah.
And you putting curses and spit on these kids.
Yeah.
Instead of saying you smart. You're smarter than that, and I taught you to be smarter than that. So I'm gonna need you to go back and look at this. Try doing that instead of saying you stupid, or why you acting stupid. Why you not acting as smart as I know you are?
Right.
It's not to say you can't discipline, and you can't. You just gotta find another way to say it. And we've all done been there and said some things come out of our mouths, whether it's to a child or not, you know, and didn't know better, and that's okay. I'm not here to blame anyone. There's plenty of things that came out of my mouth before I was aware of things that I should be saying that I shouldn't say. So when you are aware of that, you are aware of how you speak over other people and kids. That's my heart. Like kids, like your kids. I know some of you are single parents, fathers and mothers. Whatever the situation, are you raising a child that's not yours? And it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. You have frustrated moments, especially for single parents who are doing it by themselves. But it's not to say you can't show them you're being firm in that moment, but instead of saying you stupid or you're an idiot, be like, you are smarter than that. You are very intelligent, and that is disappointing that you act in that way in this moment, because I know that you're intelligent. You know, it's other ways to go about that. And if you don't know, tap into this right now, baby. Don't speak that over your kids, your nieces. I have plenty of nieces and nephews. And once I learned what I say out my mouth, and little cousins and things like that, once I learned about, wait, if this works on how I speak to myself, imagine what I say about my nieces or saying to them if I'm angry or about to spank, you know, they're getting in trouble or things like that. You need to be very careful about what come out your mouth. And that's why a lot of times I've had people tell me, well, very few people say, well, you didn't say nothing at all, because I didn't have nothing nice to say. I didn't have nothing nice to say. And if I don't got nothing nice to say, even if it's the truth and I'm saying the truth and it's still not that nice, and if I really don't say anything, that you better understand that is a true act of love. That's an act of love on my part, because I know what my words can do, whether it be coming out and it be the actual truth, and I really feel that way, and it's a fact about you. Right. But I'm not saying it because that's not something I want to speak over your life. So if I'm very quiet, or I choose to just be quiet and not deal with it, be very happy for that, because that's me showing a big act of love.
Right. Right. It
And some
is.
people don't get that.
Yeah,
They don't get that.
the power of words. I think, once you step into a higher uh love of self, you are very careful of the words that you choose. And a lot of people do, like I said, you get into the definition of things and you start
Yeah.
to select the words that you use more wisely. So yeah, that is a
See,
wholeheartedly
they be worried about
agreement.
they be worried about the English words, motherfucker, bitch, this, that. Them ain't the words you need to worry about.
Those are not the words that you
Them
need.
ain't the words you need to worry about. The words you need to worry about: stupid, ignorant, idiot, peasant. Those the sentences. It's the things you don't think it's okay because you consider it not a curse word or a cursing of a sentence that you should be worrying about what come out your mouth and how it come out your mouth.
Yeah. And that is why it gets important. Oh gosh, when you start to get into, we can keep going with this one. I don't want to get off topic, but we can keep going with this one because when all of that leads up to what you're manifesting and what you're creating in your life. And when you start to speak about your dreams, and you cannot speak about your dreams to everyone because people have words that they can put onto your situation. It's a lot. It gets big with that. So that's why I think it was important to share my journey of transformation, because I became much more aware of who I was allowing to speak to me and speak over me and different things like that. And I've gone through modes of trying to reintroduce different energies and spirits, whatever, back into my life, just to realize that, hey, hold up, it's not, we're not going to do this, right? We're not going to do this, because I have respect for myself and my self-love and the work that has gone into edifying my mind.
Yes. Yes. And that's why I tell people you're not supposed to go seek anything unless you're seeking knowledge. You are supposed to attract these different things. And when you attract these different things and you start operating at the frequencies that you're supposed to, out of self-love is what gets you there, then either people gonna fall off, or it forces them to start to operate in a higher frequency because they're now it's they're operating in a higher a higher self, self-love. And yeah, sometimes you can reintroduce it and it's like, oh, we're not gonna do that. You ain't where you need to be, and I'm over here, and I'm not better than you, but I'm not at that frequency. So why, if I'm at a certain frequency and I'm operating this way, why would I lower my frequency to appease you? That's not me loving you in no type of way. If I lower myself and you already operate in a lower frequency, that's not me showing you love, because now I'm just making it okay. And that's me making you settle. That's me making you settle. And that's making me operate not out of self-love, for my own self. Why would I do that? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I put in a lot of work to this journey, and I'm not going to do that in no form or fashion.
Yeah.
I love you.
And a lot of people will think that you don't, because you choose to operate in that way. It gets very interesting. It gets very interesting. And like I said, the self-love journey is definitely a spiritual journey. I don't think that you can come to levels of self-love without tapping into spirit, period.
Yeah, no.
We are spirits having a human experience, and I don't think there's a way around it. So I guess I really can't say what worked for me, but that was the route that worked for me. It's many routes,
Yeah, I think either way, it's many, like you said, it's many routes, and people, because we're all individual, we have our own spirits and our own how we operate, and was genuinely us, and and tied to you, and we all meant to be that way, so that we all are unique. But I don't care which way around it. If you ain't went on a spiritual journey, you don't know what self-love is, baby. It's spiritual. It's spiritual. It don't matter which way you're going to take it, look at it, flip it, slide down the slide with it, whichever way is with it. It has to come from spirit.
Yeah.
It got to come from spirit. And first of all, if it don't, I don't want it.
Oh yeah.
I don't want
That
it.
was one of the things that I said. If it didn't come from God, I don't want it.
I don't want it.
It's in there.
I don't want it. If you're not operating in spirit, I don't want it, because I can care less about this worldly shit. My eyes are different now. I don't want it. If you're not operating out of spirit, and better yet, where I'm at right now, I can see your spirit. You know what I'm saying? I know what spirits I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
So you can't even fake the phone. So if you're not operating in the spirit that
Yeah.
I'm guided to be around, or allowing to my frequency, the Most High come first. I can't operate with you. I can't operate with you. And I don't care where you at in life. You can be at any point in life. I can agree with your lifestyle or not, but if your spirit good, ooh, I mess with you tough. Yeah. I mess with you tough because I know you on whatever journey you on. Because see, people misconstrue that too. They'll think somebody that's out there hustling or on the streets, and then somebody that got a job and living this picket fence life is one is better than the other. I don't care what you have, baby. I don't care how you hustling. I don't care how you getting it. I don't care where you come from. I don't care if you're homeless or not. But if you got spirit, if you got that spirit that's growing and is on this journey, because everybody is on their walk. You're on your walk for a reason.
I have learned some of my biggest lessons from homeless people.
Yes.
Drug addicts. People that then been a pimp, a prostitute, and whatever else before.
Yes.
But I remember when I first started peeping game, right? This is what I call peeping game, because I used to feel like crazy people would find me, right? It's like, why do everybody keep telling me their life story? Like, and this is early in life, especially within the 20s and things like that. I could be in the grocery store and somebody will find me to tell me their damn story. And I used to be kind of agitated a little bit, right? Because I'm an introvert at heart, right? I be calling myself the antisocial extrovert, right? Like, and I would be kind of irritated, like, I'm trying to be alone out here, minding my damn motherfucking business. And here comes someone. And when I finally stepped out of that, right, and started to listen to the messages that were being brought to me, I was like, you can't, and I never really did, but for the sake of this conversation, you cannot judge a homeless person or any other person based on what their walk of life really looks like. Because a lot of people are having an intense conversation with self and with creation. And the things that they drop on you will get, oh man, they will drop some heavy jewels, as opposed to somebody who's sitting in church with the biggest hat, singing the song the loudest. Like, you just can't put a descriptive physical lifestyle on somebody that's actually walking that walk.
And in that journey,
the spirit, you cannot do it.
That spirit, you can't. I've learned some of my biggest lessons from, like you, homeless. Some people that's crazy. Some people that's in prison. Some people that's out there hustling. Some people that's doing these different things. Because if you understand, if you already working on self, you know that you can take information from just about anywhere, and your discernment is stronger. And so you know what to leave and what to take. Because sometimes you're so stubborn that you might be sitting there talking to somebody, and if you a person that thinks, oh, they're not where I'm at, they're not where I think they should be, you might could just miss a fucking blessing, a blessing that God probably sent that person to say something to you, to see if you was gonna actually hear and listen and catch the gem. And you might miss that shit thinking you better than somebody, or thinking they don't live up to your potential, or they not doing what you think they supposed to do, or how they doing it, because you didn't even have enough discernment or self-love or discipline to listen and take what was given to you. Some of y'all have missed some of your most important blessings and gems and jewels dropped on you just because you looked at somebody and you judged them in a certain way. And we all have been there, but that's why we take this walk, so we can get better and understand and listen.
If that's what you're doing, if that's how your mind is operating, you're not at the level that you think you at.
Hello.
that's where if that's what's
Hello.
happening, like it's two different things to know that this is an environment or this is a person or an energy that does not work for you and where you are, and another one to be passing judgment based upon where someone lives, how they dressed, and everything else. It's just two different things, and you're not really where you think you are if that's how you out here, passing judgment on other spirits. And
Yeah, because if you equate something, your status, to how much money you got and not your spirit, you don't equate your quality of life to your spirit, but you equate it to how much money you got. You backwards. And you need to go work on yourself. Because you should be wanting to be rich in spirit before you be rich in anything else.
Yeah, just take some time. Take some more time with yourself. If that's how you're coming off with the ooh stank attitude,
The old stank attitude. Look, you got your little thing on your arm, and I'm like, I'm over here. This is why y'all keep seeing me do this, because Brianna's fingers is cold, and y'all know how cold I get, you guys. But I've been lucky enough to be warm for the past couple of days.
I'm just hitting my chair too. I'm like, I'm loving it. I'm loving these deeper modes of meditation that I'm experiencing, and I just can't wait, right? But I'm excited about what's unfolding, and I'm excited on the deeper journey into self that I'm taking, and the reflection, right? Because self-love can show you some shit about yourself that you really ain't trying to hear, but you
right, and then you be like, okay. Okay, that was me.
Self-love. You get into self-love is connected to all of it. When you start dealing with what your ego doing, how your inner child is acting up, all of that. Self-love gets into all of that and pulls it out for you. And I'm interested to see, like, because I feel my journey and I see my journey showing me different things. And I don't have words for it yet, so I probably shouldn't even talk about it because I don't have
words. Yeah, like it's like you said, meditation comes in different forms. Like I am probably, for the past couple of days, since I'm getting some sunshine, I've been sitting on my deck, which I normally do in the summers, in springs here, because I get really cold. And I see the sun shining over there, and I'm like, ooh, because I've been meditating on my patio. And of course, I meditate in the mornings when I'm awakening, and I learned some new breath work. I love breath work, you guys. It's amazing. There's so many different forms of breath work that you can do. And I learned some new breath work techniques from, I don't want to butcher her name. So we'll drop it in the link below, but her name is, I think, Milana. I forget her last name. I want to say it's pronounced Milana. But I've also learned different breath work from Mayana Manzat, all these different people. And then some from my own spirit, just telling me breathe or move your hands. And when I'm in meditation, move your hands like this, lay down, sit up, move this, open your eyes, different things like that. I learned to listen to self. There is no wrong way to meditate if you're going in with intention and really listening to spirit. It's a daily practice I do, and I might be doing it while I'm just sitting in my little chair like this and looking out my window gazing, or I might be doing it in the shower, or I might be doing it when I first wake up in the morning. There is so many forms, and it's beautiful and it's exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's exciting. It's energetic. It's the best medicine. It's the best way that you could ever self-medicate, period. Like, medicine is the most healing, all of that. It will, that journey will definitely guide you to all that is needed. Whether you pick up another book, watch another video, or whatever it is, if you really tap into self, trust me, you really don't got to pick up too much anything else. But also, it will bring to you alignment. It will bring to you the things that will help further intensify your journey and the tools and techniques that you can use to continue to self-love.
Yeah, because those certain things that sometimes you might scroll across on your phone or you may not have ever wanted to go to a bookstore, and then all of a sudden you're in the bookstore and you know exactly what book to pick, or the phone call you might get. All these things, when you're working on self-love, it comes to you. That it is the form. It is a big form of attraction and alignment, because you start having these things and you like, I just received that phone call. I was just, damn, now I'm about to brighten my day. Or I don't know how I knew to just get this book, or somebody just sent me this. You start to come in alignment with so many different things that you don't even you don't even know why you looking at this right now, or why you're reading about this, or why you even got the phone call. So it's a beautiful thing.
Happen, you'd be like, I'm on the right journey.
Yes.
Really start being this is really a journey. Like,
yes, it's a journey, and it's fun, and it's exciting, and it's a roller coaster, and it's ups and it's downs. And it's not to say you're never gonna be sad, mad, happy. It's not to say that you're never gonna have a true emotions. You will have them, but you will know how to either sit in them, reflect on them, and continuously better yourself spirit wise, which helps you better yourself externally. If you constantly going back into spirit, there's things that we both still struggle with. We're us. Our spirit is still growing, and we're still reaching our higher self. And so you're going to still have those things come, but you're going to deal with them in a different manner. You're going to find a certain piece that you might still freak out for that moment, but eternally you still have a piece that is going to be okay. So.
Look, I think that's self-love. What do you think?
I think that's it. I think that's self-love. I'm excited for y'all to go on a journey. If you have not started the journey, if you started it and just became stagnant, if you are scared, don't be afraid. It is scary, but once you get over that, everything great is outside of fear. It's uncomfortable. To be great, you have to be made uncomfortable, and you got to step into that uncomfortability, because then sometimes that's when you find the journey, because that's where, instead of it being uncomfortable, it's exciting, and you learning and you growing. So
yeah, I think that's all that it takes to start, is the desire to. Is a desire to. And it's like, once you step from once you have the desire to, then you actually put the demand on it. This is what I want. And you actively start to seek it, yeah. And once you do, oh boy,
you demanding to be better. And it ain't nothing wrong with demanding to be better inside out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the part of it. Oh, there you go, Brianna.
There I go. My phone was telling me my battery about to die.
Okay. Perfect. Because it's a wrap. And I think we better come back with the words on the back of your shirt, though, just to close out the show, right?
When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace.
Yeah. I'm about to go listen to that Keyshia Cole song right quick. Don't be surprised if you'll see me posting the whole meditation to that shit right there, because that's what I was feeling while I was hearing it. I was like, oh, I think I got a meditation for this one.
Look, you gonna see me outside on the balcony with it playing on my story. Right. So yes. I love it. We love you guys. This is Organic as Fuck Talk, Self-Love Edition. Inbox us, email us. If you don't know where to start, feel free to reach out to us, because we want to see you start your journey.
Definitely. And for all the self-healers, people amplifying their self-love, check out LIL Movement. This is what I am talking about daily. There's always a daily story helping you to dig deeper and get into it. But mostly there are tools. If you are on that journey, and it is really only for self-healers and those amplifying their self-love. I am not trying to convince you to love yourself.
No, she is not. In everything that she has, I use. So be sure to really check that out. You guys see I had the Cellular Wand not too long ago, which was my vibe of the day. all of those things she has. And the intention behind what she does, and you want to be careful where you are getting your things, your crystals, or whatever it is that you seek in sage. All of that, where you get it from, because things are done with intention and it holds energy. And so her energy, you guys can clearly see her energy on our show, on Leo Movement, on her page, and the things that she operates in. And when you receive that box, baby, that Leo Movement box, baby, you get that energy with it.
Oh, I appreciate that. Like, I love it. I love the duality that we have within this too, right? Because you get into a lot of self-love techniques too, with what you're taking in nutritionally, as well as the physical aspect of transforming the body. That takes a great deal of self-love to get into that discipline. As you were saying, it's a huge part of discipline. So I say we are a hell of a combo.
Yes, we are. And I didn't touch on that a lot, but you guys can check out CLC page. If you go to Pretty Bee Baby, I have all of them in my bio. But and check out Pretty Bee Baby, because I talk about a lot of ways of self-love through food and diet in my stories and things like that. So yes, because that is a form of self-love, what you put in your body.
Right. Keep it organic.
Keep it organic. Organic is Fuck Talk. Don't forget to like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, also to our Instagram and our Facebook. The links will be below. Our vibes of the day will be below. We love you guys. Don't forget to love on yourself every day. Make some form of practice loving on yourself every single day. We love you.